Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today about all things entertainment.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so Sestra, what do you have first this week?
Okay, I was trying my hardest not to just get into all of the things that is Johnny Depp
and Amber
Heard. But I just gotta give in not because of the trial or anything like that, not because of like the jokes and laughs and everything, because of his lawyer. I just want to shout out Camille Vasquez.
Oh, the lawyer who is cross-examining Amber Heard?
What? Okay. She is the new Johnny Cochran. Glove don't fit, you must quit.
Okay.
You don't see no bruises, yeah, gone. It's like for real. She has been going off. Okay, so like with the cross examination, I'm so excited I can't even get out. Cross examination, she's just like objection, leading, objection. Like the Amber Heard's lawyer couldn't get anything out. Okay, let me just give you the background on her.
Okay,
I'm so excited.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I have not been following other than the clips that I see from time to time. So this will be probably illuminating.
Okay, so not really. I'm just talking about her. I'm not really worried.
I'm just saying, like, just the things that you're probably going to bring up are things that I don't even know.
So, all right. So she's 30. She's 38 years old, and she's associate with the Orange County law firm that focuses on the defamation suits. Right.
Okay.
So she went to school at University of Southern California.
Okay.
And that was her undergrad, and then she went to law school at Southwestern. Okay, she is vicious. Like, people are thinking that because she's doing such a good job, people are just like, so you and Johnny Depp got a little, something.
I did see something where somebody was saying something.
Absolutely
like that.
not. No,
just because she was bringing him a bottle of water, or she was bringing.
Yeah, she gave him a hug. She gave him a hug after they just made Amber Heard look like a fool.
Yeah.
She just got up and gave him a hug, and it wasn't even like a full hug. It was just like an arm around your arm and patting on your chest. Boom, that was it. Okay. But anyway, her cross-examination, all she kept doing, she kept saying objection. Every question. Okay. I don't even know the other lawyer's name. I don't know anybody else's name except for Camille Vasquez. Okay. Every time the lawyer was like, Amber, tell me about the time when objection leading the witness. And the judge just sustained. Yeah. And then she was like, okay, Amber, can you give me a time when objection leading the witness? She was like, sustained. She's like, you're just going to keep happening. Like, the judge is just sitting there just look, it's lady, you know what your job is.
Well, she needs to say, tell me about, or something. It's a different way to phrase it, right?
Exactly, it's the who, what, when, where, how questions.
Right.
It's the regular, noun questions.
Right.
It's nothing.
What happened on September 2nd?
Yeah, not.
Can you tell me about what happened on September 2nd when Johnny Depp did?
But what are you doing, lady? And it happened so many times that then Amber Heard's judge was just like, no other questions, and that was it, bruh.
Really? So she just didn't even.
She was like, Judge, can we approach the bench? And the judge was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she was getting frustrated, and that lady was getting under her skin. Yeah, and
then you she, I don't know. Camille is just getting. She's gonna be the next big name lawyer.
Okay.
I will say that hopefully she's not just a good lawyer just because of this case. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's not like Amber Heard's lawyer is not up to par like she should be, and now she's going against less than lawyers or that just because of this case right now, and that's the reason why she's doing a good job. Hopefully she just keeps it going.
Right.
Women run the world, and our lawyer is Camille Vasquez. I don't care what anybody says, but she's been so good, and she's been on it. She has been there. She's been on it. Bam, 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 bam. She's not missing anything.
Not missing a beat.
Not missing a beat.
Wow.
I don't even know what's happening with the trial. Something about Amanda Heard's dog stepped on a bee. I don't know.
On a bee?
Yeah, that was one of the things.
God.
My dog stepped on a bee, and she starts fit crying. I don't know. I don't know anything else. Johnny Depp, he's talking about what was it, gargantuan glass of wine or something like that.
all of it is just insanity.
Yeah,
when
it's
you think
just,
about it. But even when we were in Mexico, I remember sitting by the pool and hearing people talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and they weren't Americans.
Yeah,
They were just
because it's all over TV,
all over the world. This case is being watched, and it's like interesting. It's like fascinating in a way because it's like, why this? Why them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's only as big as it is only because you have never seen Johnny Depp's name in anything. He barely does interviews.
Yeah.
And then with this, it's just like they're just
he's got to be there every day. So he's just creating this. Yeah.
And people are just like, he fascinates me. Like, I know nothing about Johnny Depp. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't know all the stuff that he has. He has, like, he has, like, a band. And, like, I don't know any of this stuff about Johnny Depp. I know nothing about him. I know he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He probably
likes to play very strange and different.
Yeah, but that probably also means that he got some mental issues.
I don't know.
The only, I mean, allegedly, but I mean, this is my opinion. I can see that because really good actors usually have this thing where it's just like, hey, I got this one thing about me that people don't really like. Like, I don't get along with this and this and that and that. But, like, usually really good actors have this one thing that just throws them off a little bit from the rest of the,
They're just a little bit. What's the right word? Awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
A little bit off in a way. And not like, just like in a way of like, there's something, which I think is why he probably doesn't put himself in the spotlight that often, because it's like Joaquin Phoenix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, you can play the Joker and it's so realistic that you're like, how could you play that in such
and
a real
then
way?
Movie's gone.
How do you play that?
Movie's gone. Don't see you anymore. You know, I see you the Met Gala. Other than that, I don't ever see you. When was the last time that anybody saw Joaquin Phoenix?
He was on a evening, like one of those talk shows. I don't know, one of the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon or something. But it was awkward. It was extremely awkward. Yeah. And it's just like, and he was that way with David Letterman, too, I feel like a long time ago. And so, but Jared Leto, too, I feel like he would be an awkward person to interview. Like, he would just be an awkward interview. I don't know.
I feel like Jared Leto would probably just be someone who just stares you in your eyes the whole time when he's talking to you and doesn't blink. I feel like he's that kind of person.
I don't know.
But I mean, I respect him. He's a good actor as well. So I mean, good actors are a little off, and I love it.
Oh goodness, yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm saying I do.
So,
I know I'm a little off too.
So it makes sense. It's all
maybe I should take up acting. Maybe. Toby, give me some info.
Start off as an extra, work your way into like one line.
Yeah.
And then
Then I'll be on the Black Lady Sketch Show.
Then you'll be on the Black Lady Sketch Show,
starring DeAndre Hughes with.
Oh wow, starring
DeAndre Hughes with.
All the other people.
Robin Thede.
Wow, that's some lofty goals there.
But just giving a shout out to Camille Vasquez. Yeah. You killing it. Keep doing what you do. Show everybody that women are that ish. Okay? That they rule the world. But that's all. I didn't want to do anything about the Johnny Depp trial.
Yeah, you were trying not to, but then she was just blowing your mind.
And I was just like, this lady, like,
she's got it going. Yeah, she's because I saw her even just, I think this morning it was a clip or something. It was like, so Amber, is this the bed that you said Johnny broke? And then she's like, yes. And she's like, so you're saying his boot scuffed up this bed, like you could see like where the wood like had chipped off or something like that. Yes, his boots did that. And what about the knife on the bed? Like, what about that pocket knife on the bed? Mm-hmm. And it was like, you could just see her face go like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that was mine. Like, okay, so what's more important here? Is it more important that there's like this scuff on the bed? That could just be somebody sitting on the bed, their feet are propped up on the bed, and that made the scuff of the
the knife,
or the pocket knife that's on top of the sheets. That what happened with that? Now you've opened the door to being able to ask questions about this pocket knife. What was it used for? All this kind of stuff.
I want to say another funny thing that I've seen, because I've seen so many jokes and parodies about this. Jason Momoa did the funniest
I haven't seen that
video about, oh my God, they were trying to say, he tried to make it to like they were calling him to the stand
to be in the trial.
Yes, but he was at home, so he's like, oh sorry guys, like, I didn't know we were starting right now. Okay, I'm right here. And it was like, okay, Mr. Momoa, okay, do you know who, have you ever seen Amber before? He's like, yeah, hey Amber, and it's like, yeah, don't talk to her. Mm-hmm. He's just like, okay. And he's like, Johnny, what's up, man? Hey, look, man, blah, blah, blah. And it's just so funny because if you watch this whole thing, like, it was, he like, I don't know, it's just hilarious.
It just makes you feel like he's actually, like,
Like he's actually yes.
But you know, there's so many famous
and there's
people whose names have come up in this.
I know, but it was so funny because whoever did the editing for this made it to where there's people, you can see people trying not to laugh, right?
Okay.
In the courtroom,
in the back of the courtroom,
in the back of the courtroom, like just people, just like spectators, and then you see this one person get up and is cracking up, laughing so hard, walking out, and it's because like Jason Momoa said something, but that's not even what it was. It's something else from the trial.
It was somebody else who was on the stand who was cutting jokes in a way, because I feel like I do remember seeing something. It was this man, and they were asking him questions, and you could just tell he didn't want to be there. So he was just kind of just giving answers like, "Well, did she do this or did he do that?" I can't remember which one they were asking for, and he was like, "I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to know?" Like, he was saying things like that.
So maybe that had to have been what Jason Momoa used in order to go ahead and like have his own video in there.
Yeah.
But it is so funny. I'm gonna have to send it to you.
I've seen a few people do it, but they're like regular people. Like I haven't.
Oh no! This one it like actually makes you think that he was
on the stand
via Zoom for this trial. So hilarious, so funny. I'm gonna have to send it to you. Yeah. Maybe I'll talk about it again next week. I don't know.
I'll be ready to check it out.
But shout out to Camille Vasquez. All right,
Vasquez,
so what you got? What you got, Sestra?
Right. So I have that I am addicted to, and I don't have an addictive personality. Not addicted to smoking. Not addicted to drinking. Not addicted to anything, but TikTok lives.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like even the regular TikToks, I don't even know the last time that I went on TikTok and just scrolled through the actual regular TikTok.
You just want to do the lives.
I go in, I might start to scroll, and then when the first live hits, I'm like, oh yeah, the lives. And then I go straight over to the lives, and I am addicted. And it's the weirdest thing because like, our lives go on forever.
Oh, yeah.
For hours, potentially.
Yeah, for Jerry's kids.
Oh, my gosh. And so a few of them that I have become addicted to. And I will say I apologize in advance for not taking down all the names. It's more so about the themes. Because I'm not addicted to a particular person or a particular person's TikTok. I'm just addicted to
the things that you're watching.
The things that I'm watching on these TikToks. So one of them is a lady who makes soap. Like different people, but they're mostly ladies for some reason that make soap. So not only the making of the soap, the shaping of the soap, the cutting of the soap, the packaging of the soap, and the using of a hot like heater with the the plastic wrap that sucks onto it tight when you use the shrink wrap heater. Oh my God. So that's one of them. That's a newer addiction. It hadn't been previously. Bingo. I will literally
I've seen the people, like, you're sitting there watching people play bingo.
Play bingo.
Yeah.
And I don't win any money for that.
No, but I mean...
But I didn't spend any money for that either.
True.
So, but yeah, I'm watching this one young guy, can't think of his name to save my life, but he's playing bingo. And then lo and behold, I was flipping through more lives. A young girl was playing bingo. Yeah. They know each other. They're at the same bingo party.
They're probably sitting right across from each other. And recording each other. Yeah, I'm recording me, you record you miss B18.
I saw that he was talking to somebody beside him, and then, I was not putting it together. So then I went to hers, and then she was like, I feel like his name is Chase or Cash or something like that. Something goes very well with bingo. Yeah. But anyway, and so she was talking to him, he was talking to her, and I was just like, oh my God, they're there at the same time.
Together.
Fascinated, had to watch the whole night. Like, they didn't leave till like, 1 in the morning. And I'm literally sitting there watching the two of them play bingo. So anyway, and then when they win, I'm all excited, and I'm like, oh my God, they won.
Yeah, that is just the whole, it's just
and not only do they play bingo, they play multiple sheets of bingo. They play the little cards that you just, like.
Yeah, you ripping them open,
them, and they're going, and all that, and I'm like, what?
Like the instant win cards.
In the war, what? Why? Okay. Yeah. So then I'm
shout out to Grandma for the bingo.
I know. Grandma loves some bingo. Yeah. Cake decorating. So they'll put cakes out and decorate. Yesterday, 2 hours of my life watching a lady
2 hours
make a cake. But I'm like doing other things around the house. I'm washing clothes, I'm whatever, but the phone's going with me, or I have my headphones in, and I'm listening to her. She's getting frustrated with herself.
What is the internet doing to us?
I know. She's getting frustrated with herself because she was trying to make this cake, and she was putting the boy's name on there, Jeremiah. She did it wrong. It wasn't centered properly. So then she's like, oh my God. So she's just fussing at herself. I can't believe this. And everybody's like, it's so funny too because the whole community is like, girl,
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
this.
you got this
You can
fine.
fix
Yeah,
it.
scrape it
It's
off.
okay.
Put some new
It's
fondant
all right,"
on
you
there.
know?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm going to figure out something, whatever. So then she made something else and she fixed it. And then she's like, I don't like any of it. She starts ripping things off the cake. And everyone's like, no. And
Oh, she does that on purpose. That's smart.
No, it wasn't really, but she got over 1 million likes.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. But see, that's
she-
the thing. When you have perfection in front of you, everybody else sees it as, oh my God, that's amazing. And then like somebody just
She's
sees this
seeing
one
that
little thing
flop.
and she does away with it.
Oh my
I'm
God.
pretty sure the first live that she did and she did away with the cake, her number
No, it
skyrocketed.
wasn't the whole cake. She couldn't do away with the whole cake.
Oh, okay,
she just
okay.
did away with a few of the decorations.
Oh,
but
okay, I
the
got you.
reason was, like, let me put it this way. Somebody had said in the comments, my mom has been watching you today since you put the layers on top of each other. Now,
Oh, wow.
I just started picking up after the fondant was already on.
Yeah.
Like, she was actually making a fondant that was printing from her Cricut
Oh, awesome.
on the edible paper
Yeah.
to then put it on top of the fondant to then wrap it around so it was like a camouflage looking paint thing. And I'm just fascinated because I'm like, didn't know a Cricut could print edible stuff.
I gotta get a Cricut.
I was like, what in the world? Because I'm not used to people using it for like, arts and crafts and T-shirts and things like that.
That's
but
arts and crafts, though.
But not edible.
It's edible
I guess
arts
I just
and
didn't
crafts,
put
it
that
is, yeah.
together. So anyway, so she's like, I got to reprint this. So she's like, hold on a minute. She walks away. She goes to the printer. She gets stuff. It's thousands of people watching her to get 1 million likes during all the hours. And she was like, y'all, she's an hour behind us. She's like, it's 4:00 in the afternoon. I haven't eaten anything. My husband, my kids, nobody's eating anything. I've been doing this all day. So then her husband like comes in and is like, babe, we gonna eat or what? So she finally goes off of the thing. But then I missed it. Like I missed when she signed off. I was like, I've been so invested. I was kind of hurt because I was like, I've been so invested. I've been watching her for 2 hours. She finally got it perfection for her. And I was just like, and then I missed when you sign off like that. That just made me feel some kind of way. So anyway, the other thing, crepe making.
Crepe? Wait.
Oh my gosh. So
Just like crepes.
in another country.
Just like clips. Clips.
I do not know where they are, but they have 2 crepe making machines right beside each other. They pour the batter. They use the little stick to spin it all around and make it big. They immediately flip it, and it's already dark on the other side. They flip it again. They put in bananas. They put in chocolate. They put in Nutella. They might put in a Snickers bar or a Twix. And then they go and they drizzle a little bit of Nutella or, chocolate on
People,
it.
the hands motions that she's making, talking
so
about this,
excited.
she is so
They
into
flip it, they cut it, they roll it up, they put it in a box, and then they put powdered sugar on top and more chocolate and cream and oh my gosh, I will sit there and watch that again for at least an hour. And the funny thing about it is, if I'm ever not able to go to sleep, all I need to put on is TikTok live and I'm knocked out, but I have to have my phone charging because it drains your battery like crazy. So
absolutely.
therefore, like my battery will die and I won't wake up for work in the morning. So bedazzling tumblers, that one I'm not quite into as much, but I've seen that. That bouncing ball. So the guy who will ding, 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 try to bounce the balls across a little obstacle
like
course
the
in his living
pots
room.
and pans and stuff
The
like
pots
that.
and pans or
Like
the
ping
glass
pong
or whatever,
balls.
the ping pong balls to make them. And they have like thousands of ping pong balls. So he'll just keep
you'll
going
see it all on the floor.
over days until he gets it to go into the hole. And sometimes whatever's supposed to go into is spinning. I'll sit there and watch that stuff. I feel bad because I don't actually like give flowers or hearts or stars or whatever. Like I'm not that kind of person, but anywho, but I know like they'll make money off of those things. Like every time
each
people
flower,
are doing,
heart, like
the
the
hearts,
hats,
I don't know as much, but the hats,
and the speedboat, like all those things.
It's so much stuff that they can
that
give
you
you a
get
rocket,
money.
an airplane, or whatever. So so people are making big money off of all that stuff. Now, the one that has gotten to me lately is two things: opening up the oysters and getting out the pearls.
That lady, yes, I do like her.
Oh my gosh! But there's like 4 different ones that I watch.
Okay, so I've seen the one.
Sometimes
I've
it's
seen
men,
the one.
sometimes it's women.
I've seen the Asian ladies do it.
Okay,
because they never show their face. They only you just hear them
you
talking.
just hear them talking and
then,
do it. Yeah. And then the other one, scoops.
The scooping of the stuff. Oh, I watch it all the time. I watch it all the time.
Like crystals and you got this tower.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You
got a
this
pendulum.
Yeah,
good
you
job.
got this, and oh,
I'm
this
like,
is a skull, but oh, this is a mushroom, and oh, this is whatever, and just
Oh, yeah, I
some
do like
sand
watching
or
that.
rice or whatever.
I do like watching
and they
that.
scoop. And now, at first, it was just scooping out of something random. Now it's that shaking
Yeah.
thing. I don't even know what
It's
it is.
supposed to be like
It's
the rock tumbler cleaner
rock
thing.
tumbler
Like, it's
thing.
supposed to polish rocks.
Yes, and they put a ton of whatever sand or
Yeah,
rice or whatever
yeah.
in there, and then they just pile a bunch of. I mean, it's probably junk, but they,
absolutely,
it's
it's
crystals
absolutely
and
junk.
stuff like that. But it makes you wonder how much it is, because one girl was like, "This is $25. This is $25. This is $15. This is $30. Oh, this is a $50 big old like globe." She called it or whatever, and I'm like, "Is it really or what?" Because
That's probably on the
people are
website that they sell their stuff on is
know.
that much. But then you do the scoop and you pay like $50 for 2 scoops. Is like $25 per scoop or something like that.
But it's like $29.99 or whatever. I recognize they can't tell you the pricing for anything on TikTok. They always say, go to my page, look at my link. You see the pricing there. Also with all the bingos and the scratcher things or whatever, because sometimes people do scratcher tickets on there. And they have to cover what the winnings are, because I guess TikTok will kick you off if you show anything financial like that. But anyway, so that's just what I wanted to share, that I am addicted to the lives. I will go
you
on.
forgot one.
Which one is that?
The robots.
Oh, well, the robot, I don't really look at that often.
Oh,
though.
you stopped
But
looking at that?
I mean, I only watched it maybe twice, but it's the Russian robot, and I don't even know if they show them anymore on TikTok since it's Russian. But
true.
the
Very
Russian robot that looks like a human and will talk to you and answer your
Like
questions.
AI.
AI, and looks like Iron Man in the middle kind of situation. But but I did start watching that, and I don't think I've seen that in a really long time. But those tumbling gems and jewels and all
the
of
jewels
that.
always get me every time.
Oh,
They
and
get
now
me
there's a
every
new
time.
one with glitter. So it's like bins of glitter, and it's like purple glitter. Or things. Actually, I say glitter. It's not. It's things you can put on your nails, because these girls have these long nails now. I don't, but some do. And then they have little things that you can put on there for decorations and butterflies and things like that. So this lady, she scoops up different things, and she's like, "Oh, you want a bag of the clear, which is like a translucent."
Oh, so she's
and then a bag of
she's
the
scooping
purple.
out the glitter to send
so
to
it's
people.
300 pieces of clear, 300 pieces of purple, 300 pieces of blue, then the pink, then the red, then the
Wait, you gotta count this?
No. When she scoops, she says each scoop is like 100
Oh,
pieces.
okay, I
So
got
she'll
you.
do 3 scoops and say that's 300. Who knows? It could be 3,000. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the other thing that I've just recently started watching.
Okay.
And I was like, gosh, it's like people are really making a living and money off of scooping out glitter.
Yeah.
Where do they do that at?
Apparently somewhere
on TikTok.
On TikTok, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I had.
Somewhere in the world.
My addiction to TikTok lives.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm definitely with it, because I watch TikTok live sometimes myself.
Yeah.
All right, word. All right, so what I'm going to talk about now is the movie that we watched. I watched when we were coming back from Mexico.
Okay.
Shout out to Delta for having the TVs in the back of
Yes, they did. In the back of the
seats.
chairs. Yep.
So I watched The Lost City.
Oh, that's the one with
Sandra Bullock and
Channing
Tatum. It has Daniel Radcliffe. It has Devon Joy Randolph and Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah. Okay.
Great movie. Really cute. Definitely a Sandra Bullock movie. Like, the only other person who could have pulled this off would have probably been Melissa McCarthy.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Great movie. It is on Paramount Plus. I thought it was in the theaters. It's on Paramount Plus. That's why we get to see it. That's why I got to see it on the Delta plane ride. Yeah, I think that's
Well,
what.
I don't know, because sometimes movies, while they're in the theaters, I think they still might show them.
But you
on
know
a
what? I
plane
wonder.
at
But see, what it used to be when we went traveling before, it was like all movies in the theater. Now it's just like
certain ones.
certain
limited
ones.
selection.
So I'm wondering if it is depending on who, if the movie is just in theaters, or if the movie's in theaters and other stuff. So since
it could be.
Since the pandemic, they got to get the money. So
Yeah.
it might be like, hey Delta, look, remember when we used to do this for you? Yeah, bro, none no more. But yeah, so The Lost City, cute movie. All right, so the movie is about a romance novelist, who's Sandra Bullock's character, and she's doing a book tour. Now, with the book tour, she's like poured her heart and soul into these books, and like people are just like all excited about the book tour. She goes and she's, while she's on the book tour, she's trying to work on her next book for the continuance of this romance novel, blah, blah, blah. And then as she goes to answer questions, they're just asking questions about Channing Tatum's character.
In the book. Okay.
So, come to find out, he's getting more of the love. She's like the second fiddle in the show. And Channing Tatum's, it's hard to say his name.
Yeah.
His character is the romance novel cover model.
So he's like the Fabio.
He is the Fabio, but he is nothing else.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the book.
Nothing to do with the book.
Just his picture on the front.
Fabio on the front of the book. Okay.
Yes. So Sandra Bullock gets aggravated, and then at this time she's like, I'm trying to work my tail off to give these books to these people who are just like my fans, and they're trying to say my fans, but actually they're fans of this guy who I'm making up.
Right. Channing
Tatum, in his mind, he is that person. He's like, I'm a character model. What is that? Okay, but he's just like, I just give all my all into posing like I'm this person that you write about so eloquently in your books. And she's just like, okay, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And as he's like,
he's thinking he's paying homage to her by just letting her know you have created this vessel.
Yes,
that is me.
And she's like, I didn't create this vessel. Probably somebody in my PR grabbed you and just like, hey, you would fit this pretty.
Exactly.
Be on the cover. So as he's like trying to talk to her about it, he's just like, so what do you think of the next role is going to be for me? Like, are you going to kill me off? Are you going to keep me on? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? And she's just like, stop following me.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Walk away. And as he's doing that, he's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn around and leave. When he goes to leave, she is waiting for her driver to come up. Boom, she gets kidnapped. He turns around and is like, oh my God, she just got kidnapped. It's so funny because it's like a romance, but the stupidest romance ever. It is hilariously cute.
Aww.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I was going to ask, but you're probably getting to it, so I'll wait.
Right. Yeah, so once she gets kidnapped, now the kidnapper is played by Daniel Radcliffe, a.k.a. Peter, I would say Peter Parker.
Not Peter Parker, no.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
So when she gets kidnapped, the only reason she gets kidnapped is because he thinks that she knows the actual information about this lost city. She's writing about it in her novel and her love story.
It's just a book, people.
This is a book. Mm-hmm. He's trying to find like the Atlantis, and she's just writing about
are there like gems
Atlantis
and gold and things like that in this lost city? Oh, okay.
No, I guess that's what's supposed to be in the lost city. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but like the lost city is supposed to be about some kind of treasure.
That's why he
and
kidnapped
Sandra
her,
Bullock's just like, I've heard about this lost city, so I'm just going to write romance novels about this lost city.
Not realizing crazy people
will think, hey, you really know about this lost city and blah, blah, blah. But it comes to find out that what it is that the only reason that he kidnapped her was because she had some linguist person who just... the jibber jabble that she was writing down, they actually turned it into like a language, which actually happens to be which actually happens to be a real language from like hundreds of thousands of years ago. So it's just like, you know where this lost city is. And she's just like, bro, I just hired this person.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing to do with
Maybe
this.
they know where it is. Go get them.
Yeah. So with all this happening, the dumbest idea in the world, which makes it a comedy because it works, is that Channing Tatum and Selma Bullock, her assistant, who was played by Devon Joy Randolph, that they would put together a plan to save and rescue her. Not the FBI, not the police.
Just her assistant and
Channing Tatum.
Okay.
Channing Tatum was just like, oh, I know this guy. Like, we did like this Pilates class or something like that together. And he's a trainer and blah, blah, blah. He's like, his name is Jack. And like, I just have his number in my phone. It's Jack Trainer. You call, answer the phone. Jack Trainer speaking. How can I help you? It's like, oh, his real last name is Trainer. This character is someone who he's ex-military, he's a thrill seeker, and he is played by Brad Pitt.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how does Brad Pitt fit into this?
Yes. So now with Brad Pitt being Jack Trainer, being the ex-military thrill seeker who also like teaches like all these self-defense classes and all this other stuff, he is now saying, yeah, I'll take this money to go ahead and save her. Channing Tatum goes pick him up, and he's just like, hey man, yeah, so where are we going next? He's like, oh yeah, wait, I work alone, like I'm not.
Oh, so he wasn't going to be with Channing.
Like, I'm not trying to work with you, buddy. Like this is like life or death. This is not no game. Things pursue.
It sounds like mayhem.
Channing Tatum is still there. He's still there. Supposed to stay in the car. Doesn't stay in the car. Like everybody should know that.
Why do people do that?
Yeah, but I mean, it is a great extended cameo for Brad Pitt to have.
Yeah, because I felt like nothing in the trailer led me to believe he was in the entire movie.
No, yeah.
So, I felt like it was like one of those, like you just have a cameo and then all of a sudden here you're watching a movie and there's Tom Cruise. And you're like,
exactly.
Wait, what's he doing in
exactly,
here?
yeah. So it's like that. But the rest of it is just about how it all plays out and how they find the lost city or how they don't find the lost city. Is it fictitious? Is it real? And it's basically just like them getting out of this area, which I think might be Chile. I can't remember which country it is, but it's about them getting out of this country and going back to write more books.
Oh, okay.
It's a cute, entertaining movie. It's cute. I mean, it's not anything that's going to be like, oh my god, like this is the best movie ever.
No.
But
I don't
it is.
think they were billing it as such.
Yeah. But it is definitely. It's like a what was that movie that she did? Miss Congeniality.
Oh,
It's kind of like that kind of movie where it's like, oh, it's cute. Yeah, I like this. Yeah. It's funny. It's cute.
Got it.
But yeah, check that out. The Lost City is on Paramount Plus.
Alrighty.
And what you got next?
All right, so I am going to talk about Snowpiercer.
Okay.
So Snowpiercer is on TNT.
And it's the movie, the TV show?
It is going to be the TV show. Yeah. So the movie actually doesn't fall very far away from where the TV show lands in regards to the beginning of the TV show, but then it just takes off into
a whole nother tangent like thing?
Yeah, kind of a whole lot of different areas and levels, and I think that's why there are some movies that
are
actually
now TV shows.
Become TV shows, is because it's a bigger story to tell other than just the normal 2-hour movie event.
No, I get that.
Yep, there's more to cover. So, for Snowpiercer, so it basically starts off about global warming and how the weather changes and everything is cold, like it's freezing cold, and the people in charge kind of knew why the weather was changing, but they lied about it. So it created a lot of distrust in all of the global leaders, basically. And so the world decided to send up missiles to help cool down the earth because it was getting too hot, actually. Let me take that back. I'm saying that it was too cold. Actually, it was too hot. So the warming was happening. So therefore, the world was getting too hot. They sent up missiles to cool down.
The missiles were going where?
Just into the atmosphere to then block out the sun or do something to kind of make it so that the world itself would be cooler, a little bit cooler, they thought. But it actually ended up being like way too
like another forceful. Ice age.
And it became basically an ice age, you're right. And so what ended up happening was that this man named Mr. Wilson was a visionary, and he saw that, hey, if this goes badly, there's going to need to be a ark like Noah to make sure that everybody could stay alive. And so he created a train, and this particular train was kind of a way to sustain people. So it had to keep running. It had to stay in perpetual motion so that way that would bring it energy. And, it could be self-sufficient. And, oh, by the way, the beginning of the train, the front of the train was like it could move snow and ice and anything that was,
so it's
like
a plow in the front.
Right. So it was a snow piercer, basically. It could pierce and move away, right, the everything that would be potentially in its way. And so it's a super long train, 1,001 cars long. And so basically, he felt like everybody could prolong the world by having people to get on this train. But when everything hit the fan and people really did need to do this, like he was a visionary, so he foresaw that something terrible could happen. who got to get on the plane? I mean, on the train?
All the rich people.
All the rich people. Everybody of wealth, prominence, and those who he felt needed to be on the train to sustain humanity. So you need people who would be like cops and security guards. You need people who will be doctors.
Nurses,
you need people,
lawyers,
right, who will
all
take
stuff,
care of, vegetation even,
Farmers.
like farmers and people who just, could take care of livestock as well as plants and all of those types of things. So those were the only people.
Botanists and,
Yes.
and what are they, and
Agriculturalists.
Yeah. And just doctors in general.
Yep, exactly. And so the interesting thing is that so there was this night that the train was just going to take off. So all the people had to be here and ready to get on this train. Well, the people who were surviving the cold that weren't rich kind of revolted, and they just started charging the train and trying to get on the train, and there were people out there trying to shoot them, and you can't get on this train.
That sounds about right.
You don't have a ticket, and all of that. So they were getting in the caboose of the train, trying to just jump on with cargo or whatever, wherever they could. And so you had families who were trying, moms, dads, kids, whole 9 yards, just people trying to get on this train. And in the end, that they just realized they were getting overrun, so they just said, pull off. Just pull off. If somebody didn't make it, even if they were rich, so be it. We just gotta go. Yeah. Right, exactly.
Because it's like Titanic when they had all the lifeboats.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to crowd the lifeboats. It's just like, yo, we gotta push people and shoot people off, and else we're all
gonna die. Right, exactly. And so what ends up happening is that the train starts pulling off, and then you might have a wife and a child who's on the train, but the husband and the other child are still on the ground, and then the doors just close. And you just see that everybody who came together didn't necessarily get on the train together. And then when the train doors do finally close, you knew if you stayed on Earth, on the tracks, you were going to die because everybody was basically going to freeze to death within a matter of weeks. Wow. So therefore, the train was the only life source that anybody would have. Yeah. And so basically, that's kind of how the very first episode starts. I mean, that's just the first...
the first few minutes, right?
I mean, yeah, that me explaining all of this is the first 5 minutes of the episode. And then it goes into okay, 6 years later, so you have this woman who comes on and she's like, good morning, this is the Wilson's train and da-da-da-da-da. We are 6 years, 9 months, and 11 days into our journey around the world. And that's all this train does. Funky. Is it just loops and loops and loops around the world. That's all it does. He built a track around the world and it just loops. And no matter if you're in Africa or United States or Mexico or Canada, it's all frozen. Yeah.
Question. So, how are these people eating? Are they growing?
Great question. Yeah. So, in first class, they have a first class, second class, third class, and then the tail, which is where all the stowaways are, which they're called tailies. First class.
Tailies.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it because I put IES on the end of everything. So
so they're the tailies. And so, but the first class, it's filet mignon and lobster.
Where they getting this filet mignon from?
They have their own aquarium on the boat. You literally see a woman who goes and swims, basically with no clothes on, into this aquarium on the boat, which you can walk through and you can just see. It's like an aquarium you would go through that's a tunnel,
Yeah, like in Atlanta.
Gotcha, the fish and you can just see everything. And there's multiple trains that are like that are just fish and seafood and stuff. Then you have trains where, for example, so the main character is David off of Hamilton, who played Thomas Jefferson. And so he's on here, and he basically gets pulled away from the tail because he's a tailie, and he gets pulled away because there's a murder on the train, a murder. And so based on the murder, they're we don't have anybody who's an actual investigator other than this one guy. His name is Leighton on the show. So Leighton is the only actual full-fledged police officer, investigator, detective, whatever. So they're we're going to bring you to the front of the train so that you can help us. And he's like, why should I help you? Then they bring him some tomato soup and some grilled cheese that he haven't seen since who knows. For 6 years.
Yeah, he's just I got you. I'm helping.
Because what they give the tailies, because they're you don't even deserve to be here, is they're giving them this slop of a jelly bar.
And they're giving them sauce.
They're giving them a sauce, a brown sauce-looking thing that you're supposed to just chop in and eat. And then it's but at the same time, it's they're rationing it. So it's like what they used to have for all of them. Now all of them only might get half a bar, and then somebody else gets the other half a bar. And whatever they're putting in there is also sterilizing all the women so they can't reproduce and create more tailies. So they're like intentionally doing everything they can to hopefully have them all die off so they don't even have to worry about the tailies. Yeah. So when he goes to the front, he's like, I need food, I need this, I need that for my tailies, or I'm not helping you with anything, because y'all know y'all need me, because if I don't solve this case, y'all have a murderer walking around who, oh, by the way, is going to disrupt this whole utopian world that y'all think y'all have on this train. So they do end up giving in a little bit to some of his demands, but the tailies are always treated like literally fifth-class citizens, if you want to think of it that way. But they have everything on this train. When Leighton walked through and saw a garden, he was like, there's strawberries growing here. There's apples. There's this. So y'all can't even share this with us? Yeah. And he was like, oh, this is just one of 31 cars that we have that are all vegetables and fruits and stuff. But no, we can't, because we have to feed all the people who paid for tickets and the first class and the whatever. So the first class people are sitting in dining cars, eating. I mean, like, it's like nothing. It's like the Titanic. It's like the Titanic. They have their butlers and their, services and their linens and their, silverware, and people, oh, what's going on with you? Oh, well, can you please tell the Europeans to stop being naked in the sauna? It's just so inappropriate. Oh, and you have those kind of Karen problems when other people can barely stay alive.
Yeah, because they can't eat. They can't find anything to eat.
Exactly.
There's no sustenance.
So anyway, he's realizing just the disparity. They have clubs, nightclubs, parties, strippers, whatever. Like all of the rest of the train has all these other things. And then he's realizing that we're stuck in the freezing cold because they don't even really warm it. Yeah. It's really cold outside. They're all wearing coats and hats and gloves and things like that. I just want to say
that as soon as you said they have a nightclub, the first song I thought was, come on, ride a train and ride it too. Okay, yeah, we do not own rights to this
anyway, so it is just, it's interesting that you just see the dynamics of rich and poor, the dynamics of, how things would be with life and death, like who they care about and who they don't, good and evil, the haves, the have-nots. And then there's like a love, and then you got hate, and then you also got war.
The science in it to it, like the science of it all, of how they knew that if they shot a missile out to wherever,
like how would you know
that it would stop the global warming, and then blah 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 blah. It's just like, but it's the science of it all too. It's like, this could be our reality.
Yeah, but also, can you overshoot and do something that makes it much worse? So they said it was negative 119 degrees outside. Like, that's how cold it was. Yeah. Right, exactly. And so basically, that's literally everything I've talked about is the very first episode. I have not gone into anything outside of the very first episode. Okay. And then from there, you have 3 more seasons. So, 2 more seasons, really. So that was the first episode of season 1. And then you have 2 more seasons, and it's everything about, Mr. Wilson and what kind of person he is, everything about Leighton and his life and love and whatever. It goes into different people. Like, if you're on the side of the rich, do you stay on that side 3 years later? Do you maybe transfer over to the side of
what happens if your money runs out?
I don't think that's really an issue. You had the money when you got on the train, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, it seems like. So anyway, that is what I wanted to talk about, Snowpiercer. It's a really interesting...
Would you say it was on TNT?
It's on TNT, yep. And I watch it on Hulu. No, I'm sorry. I watch it on Sling TV because I have Sling instead of paying the premium price for Hulu. But for anybody paying premium for Hulu, you can watch it there. For Sling, I just have it recorded, and then I just go back and watch it. But yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's a pretty good show. All right, what you got?
All right, so what I have for my last one is a show that I just binge watched for a day and a half.
Oh, okay.
Just came out. It's called Night Sky.
Oh, nope, don't know about
It's got my girl Sissy Spacek on it. Oh, Charlottesville's own. Because she lives in Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. And then it also has J.K. Simmons on it, who plays...
I saw that. I thought you said Nice Guy.
No,
but it's Night Sky.
Yeah,
that's where I was like, wait a minute. I saw the preview for that.
Let me... A night sky.
It's easy to say night sky.
That's true.
It's
very similar. But yeah, J.K. Simmons, which a lot of people know him as Peter Parker's boss on
when he
Spider-Man.
was J.
Jonah Judge Jameson. That was his name.
Or from Oz.
J. Jonah Jameson.
He was on Oz initially.
Yeah, he was
That's
on
where
Oz.
I first saw him as an actor. Yeah, he's been on a lot of
He's been on, yeah,
State
exactly.
Farm commercials.
Yeah, State Farm.
Yeah. Not State
Farmers.
Farm.
Yeah, we are farmers. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah. But this is a sci-fi.
Okay.
It's a sci-fi. So Amazon has been doing a lot of sci-fis. This is an Amazon original. Amazon's been doing a lot of sci-fis, and this one actually is really good. I feel like it could have been a movie I'll get to that. Let me get into all this. Okay. So the cast is J.K. Simmons, like I said, Sissy Spacek. We also have Chai Hansen, who he's been on a couple of things before. I think he was on the 100. And then you have Kyra McKernan. I don't really know her from anything. And then Adam Bartley, who I feel like I've seen him on some before, but now he has like a beard. Now I think before he didn't have a beard. I don't know, but I've seen these people on stuff before.
Okay.
But so the story is about Frank and Irene York. Okay. And that's played by J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek. So they are a married couple. The best married couple in the world.
Aww, so
I mean,
sweet,
like, when I say the best married couple, people need to take notes watching this.
Okay.
I mean, they're so cute. They're so cute. Okay. But they've lived in this house for years, and about 20 years ago, after the suicide of their son, J.K., who is his character is Frank, is outside just chopping down a tree. Yeah. He's getting all his anger and frustration out because his son has taken his life, and he couldn't do anything to help. As he's doing that, now he's starting to dig a hole to give up all the tree limbs. Getting up all these tree limbs, and as he's doing that, what does he find? This metal piece of something that's underneath this tree. He's just like, what is going on with this? Like, what is happening? Yeah. He stumbles upon a secret chamber. It's buried in the ground. So Irene calls it seeing the stars. Yeah. So when like the first few minutes of the show, when you're watching it, he's like, hey, do you want anything else to eat? She's like, no, I'm good. She's like, hey, can we just go see the stars? And he's like, again? All right, you've been wanting to go more and more, but yeah, let's go.
And they have to go down to see the stars. So
she is, they're an elderly couple. So now he is her caretaker. So what does he do? He is like, she gets into a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. So it was like I think it was a accident. She had a bad fall, and now she can't walk as good as she used to. Yeah. Like she has a cane and stuff like that. So she's in the wheelchair. He's pushing her out to the shed. They go into the shed. He moves this like table, his woodworking table, and it opens up the bottom. And then she gets out of the wheelchair. She's going down the steps, and he's like trying to help her down the steps. And then it's a plaque that says "To the Stars." Mm-hmm. And they go through, and they go to this like weird looking door thing. Put their hand on it, open it up. Now they are transported into a whole different galaxy, universe. Dimension. I don't know. They end up being okay. So
now, is she healthy in that dimension?
So no. She's still well, not the wheelchair. I mean, like she only needs the wheelchair for far distances. So the distance from the house to the shed is like more than 50 feet. So she's going to need that assistance. But when she's in the chamber, like it doesn't make her young or anything like that. So the chamber leads to another planet that looks deserted.
Okay.
So when the door opens up, like it basically takes them as physical people, turns them into atoms, and then Ray brings them back, and they start feeling weird. And then Sissy Spacek is like handing her husband a bowl, and he's just like, "I'm not gonna throw," and he throws up. So with that, once they open up the door, you just look at it, and it's amazing. It looks like something that would have been on your Trapper Keeper. Just saying, like back in the day, like stars,
universe and stars,
like how it was galaxies. How like the Trapper Keeper had like the unicorn, and then it was like stars and space and everything in the background, and it was like pink and purple. That's exactly how this looks. So, so it's nothing like anyone has ever seen before, and only Frank and Irene know about this. Okay, so they have been like holding the secret for years and years and years, but they're trying to figure out like what's going on. Like there's some questions. We have questions, like they have to be answered. Like we only found this after my son took his life, and like we're trying to figure out, does this have something to do with him? But then a young man who his name is Jude, who's played by Chad Hansen. He shows up out of nowhere in the room where it's like where the stars are when quotes. So it's like to the stars. So Sissy Spacek is in this alternate dimension on another planet. And then she hears, please help, and turns around, and now it's this guy laying on the ground. So, and this is the guy, Jude. So, it gives the couple, like, more questions about the chamber, but also it causes kind of a divide in their relationship, but also kind of brings them together. It's hard to explain. But, the Frank character, he is basically he's more of a, hey, like, wait, I don't trust anybody. He's like, you're my wife. I trust you. I don't trust anybody else. The neighbor next door, don't like him. Don't trust him. Mm-hmm. Why are you bringing me a thing of like banana bread? I'm not going to eat your food.
He looks like he could be that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So they take him in. They try to help him, which leads to more questions. So now I will let you know this. It's a great sci-fi show. I feel like it could have been a movie. The only reason I say that is because I feel like it's like drawn out, but I feel like it could have been like a 2-hour and 20-minute movie.
Okay, instead of how many episodes?
It's eight episodes.
8-episode TV show.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But either way, it's still great. It's definitely it's a great watch. It definitely keeps you drawn in because of like, not only just because of it being like a sci-fi, it's going to be like so many other questions, but because of the plot twist and the introduction of new characters, but it still leaves you asking like more and more questions. So,
do you think it could be another season?
Oh, it's going to have to be another season.
Okay.
The cliffhanger. So this is what I was going to say. Like it. How do I say this? It's so good that like the cliffhanger is like, it can hit you in multiple ways because as like in the 5th episode, you're starting to learn about some new characters. You got 3 episodes left, or like with the 4th episode, and then you have 4 episodes left. Like, who are these people?
Yeah, why are they coming?
Where are they coming from? But then it starts to all come together by the last episode. But then there's still like it still doesn't explain like how this person it doesn't explain everything, so it's still open ended. So it's good. I like it. I like it a lot.
You binged it, so
yeah, I binged it. Yeah, I binged it. I was trying to definitely get into it. When I first watched it, I thought it was going to be when I first clicked on it, I thought it was a movie, but it was a TV show. But still, I mean, like, it's really good. I like it. Definitely check it out. It is called Night Sky.
Night Sky.
Yeah, Night Sky. And it is on Amazon. It's a Prime original.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
What you got for your last one?
My last one, because y'all know I love British TV. Don't ask me why I am a Brit. I guess in my brain when it comes to British humor and comedy and mysteries. So I started watching a show called Why Didn't They Ask Evans? Is the name of the show. Why Didn't They Ask Evans? Okay. And I'll give you some backstory to that.
Is that the one that I told you about?
I don't know. I'll tell you. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'll tell you. Hold on. So anyway, so it's a Hugh Laurie, which Hugh Laurie played House.
Yeah.
So he's the one that kind of brought this to life. Well, lo and behold, it's an Agatha Christie book that became a movie in the 80s. That was a 3-hour movie back in the 80s for the Agatha Christie book. So I guess they're doing like a retelling of the story now, and it's like 3 or 4 episodes. British TV is never long. Usually it's 4 to 6 episodes per season, which in a way is terrible because of the fact that you don't really get that much time with the show, and then you got to wait a whole year to see it again. But then also sometimes the shows can go longer than just an hour too, because of the fact that they're doing that, which these didn't for some reason. But anyway, so the story is about a young guy who's like the caddy of this particular at a golf course or whatever. He's with like almost his mentor, so to speak, and I don't recognize any of the characters, but his name is Will Poulter. So maybe I felt like I've seen him before somewhere. But anyway, he plays the Bobby Jones, who is someone who is the caddy. So anyway, he ends up being out on the golf course, and he hears somebody screaming for help. And he's asking the other guy he's with, he's like, do you hear that? And the guy's like, no, I don't hear anything. And he was like, well, let me go see if I can check it out. So he goes, and it's like one of those picturesque, I guess I should say, places where, it's like golf, but also a cliff and water and all that kind of stuff. So he goes to the cliff, he looks over, there's this guy at the bottom. So he tells the guy who was golfing that he's going to go check it out and see how the guy is doing. So he gets down to the bottom. Somehow he scales the cliff, because it's not like a cliff. It's like, you can kind of walk the rocks and stuff, but the older guy had bad legs and stuff, so he wasn't going to be able to do it. So he got down there, and as soon as he gets down there and he's checking on the guy and he's seeing, hey, how are you? Is everything okay? Like, we're getting help. And the guy just says, why didn't they ask Evans? And then he does.
Yeah.
So therefore...
So this was the show that I told you about. Yeah.
So then the guy is like, well, gosh, what is Evans? Who is Evans? What is happening? What's going on? So he decides... he looks in the guy's pockets, just to try to see what he can find to help identify the guy. And he finds this picture of a woman. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, interesting. So then he starts this own mystery, basically, of trying to figure out who is Evans? Who would have killed this guy? Why would they have killed this guy? What is going on? The whole 9 yards. And so he kind of gets some of his friends into the loop with him. So there's a woman called Lacey. Well, her real name is Lacey Boynton, who plays Frankie Derwitt. So it's Frankie and Bobby. They start on this little, escapade to try to figure out what they're going to do. They have Jonathan Rules plays Ralph the Knocker, Beeden. And so Ralph and Frankie and Bobby, they basically concoct this story of trying to get into this home of somebody that they think can give them some additional information about who Evans is and why somebody would want to kill this particular guy, because the guy's not Evans. So, yeah, exactly. So they decide to run a car into the brick fencing of this home, like they have a gated home. Okay. So it's like, if we run the car into the home, you have a concussion, they will bring you into their home because we'll have a doctor with you, quote unquote, who will then be able to say, you need to lay here. And
is this partially a comedy? It has comedic undertones?
It has comedic undertones, but it's not really, I don't think, considered to be I guess it's, like you said, it's a dark comedy, maybe they would say. I don't know. So anyway, so that's what they happen. So you have the friend who runs the, a mechanic shop. He basically helps to run the car into the building, jumps out, so that the woman can then, after it hits the building, she can jump in, put blood on her forehead, act like she had a concussion. Oh, wow. And then lay there until the quote-unquote doctor, who's somebody that is a real doctor, but who they know can come and then say, oh, what's going on? Then other people, it's creating this thing where they're like, oh, bring her in here. Let's take care of her. Let's wipe her up, da-da-da. So then that's kind of how it all ensues. And then she's infiltrated with this family for a few days and is trying to discover what's going on, how this family played a part in this guy's death, potentially, allegedly, and then also who is Evans. Yeah. So that's kind of the whole kind of story, is just figuring out who is Evans.
See, I'm glad I mentioned it to you before because I knew it was Agatha Christie. Yep. I know you really liked Agatha Christie. And then because it was on BritBox and you had just gotten BritBox,
I do love a good BritBox.
And tell you about that.
So I will say it left a little to be desired by the end, where I was just like, okay, it was a decent enough watch, but I feel like now I want to watch the movie, even though it's 3 hours.
But I feel like I really want to see how long ago did it was
from the 1980s.
Okay, so it's not gonna be bad.
Yeah, I feel like I might want to watch that movie to kind of figure out. It almost felt like this story was rushed for 3 or 4 episodes, as opposed to maybe the movie delved into things a little bit deeper, or just, I don't know, something felt like it was missing on the show, and I don't know what that was. So anyway,
I would tell you this, with Will Poulter, I think the only reason you really will know him is because of the movies that you really would not watch. So he's been in We Are the Millers, he's been in Maze Runner, Chronicles of Narnia,
Maybe that's where I've seen
Dope
him
Sick.
from.
He was in Dope Sick. The Underground Railroad. So he's like been in stuff. He was in Midsummer.
I knew his face looked vaguely familiar, but I couldn't.
But it's just because it's probably stuff that you might have watched or started to watch and didn't really get into. Yeah. Because these are not the type of movies that you would watch.
Oh, automatically, yeah. Okay,
but he's a really good actor.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So, but that is the end of our episode this week.
All
so
right.
thank you all so much for listening. Of course, tune in same time, same station next week.
Yeah.
And just, get out there, enjoy all of the wonderful things in regards to the world of entertainment. Check out some TikTok lives. Be like me.
Check out some TikTok lives. Yeah.
Everybody have a wonderful day and week.
Shout out to my boy Caleb, my baby bro, baby sister-in-law. All right.
Bye.